Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's science class. I'm so happy to see you all ready and excited to learn something new today. Now, tell me, have you ever stopped and looked closely at a plant? Maybe one growing in your garden or a big tree near your school. What do you notice about it? It has green leaves, maybe some flowers, a strong stem, and roots hidden in the soil. Well, today we're going to explore something truly amazing, all about green plants and how their different parts work together to keep them alive and healthy. By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly what each part does and why plants are so important, not just for themselves, but for all living things, including us. Introduction to plants. Let's start with the basics. Plants are living things. That means they can grow, breathe, and make their own food, but they are quite different from animals. Animals need to eat food made by others, but plants? They make their own food using sunlight, air, and water. Isn't that cool? Now imagine our planet without plants. No green trees, no flowers, no fruits, no oxygen. It would be a very empty and lifeless world, right? That's because plants make life on Earth possible. They give us food to eat, oxygen to breathe, and shade to rest under. They also keep our environment cool and clean. So, yes, plants are not just decorations, they are life givers. But how do they do all this? The answer lies in their parts, each with a special job to do. A green plant mainly has five main parts: among the roots, stem, leaves, flowers, and fruits. Let's begin our plant adventure from the bottom with the roots. Roots, the underground helpers. Now let's bend down and imagine we're looking under the soil. What do we see there? That's right, the roots. Roots are the parts of the plant that grow under the ground, and we can't always see them, but they're always working hard. Roots act like an anchor holding the plant firmly in the soil. Without roots, a strong wind or heavy rain could easily knock a plant over. But that's not all. Roots also absorb water and minerals from the soil. This is how the plant gets its food ingredients. Once absorbed, the water and minerals travel up through the stem to reach the leaves and other parts of the plant. Let's think about this. If the roots couldn't take in water, would the plant survive? No, right? The plant would dry up and die. So we can say roots are like the plants drinking straws and anchors, both at once. Some roots also store food. Do you know which vegetables we eat that are actually roots? Carrots, beetroots, radishes, and turnips. They are all roots storing food made by the plant. When we eat them, we are eating the plant's stored energy. So, to sum it up, roots hold the plant in place, absorb water and minerals, and sometimes even store food. That's why they are called the underground helpers. Stem, the support and transport system. Now let's move upwards to the stem. The stem is the part that grows above the ground. If you look at a tree, it's the trunk. If you look at a small plant, it's the green or brown stalk that connects the roots and leaves. The stem has a very important job. It supports the plant, helping it stand upright so that the leaves can get sunlight easily. Imagine if a plant had no stem. It would just lie flat on the ground. So the stem is like the backbone of the plant, but the stem does much more than that. It also carries water and minerals from the roots up to the leaves. At the same time, it carries food made by the leaves to all other parts of the plant. It's like a delivery system, always busy transporting things up and down. You can think of it as the plant's highway, where food, water, and nutrients travel to where they are needed. Some stems, just like roots, can also store food. For example, did you know that potatoes and sugarcane are actually stems that store food? When we eat a potato, we're eating the stem part of the plant. So next time you see a tall tree, remember, the strong stem or trunk is helping it stand tall and carry food and water to every little leaf and flower, leaves. The food factories. Now comes one of the most hard-working parts of the plant, the leaves. Leaves are usually green, flat, and soft. They look simple, but they are doing some of the most important work for the plant. We call leaves the food factories of the plant. Why? Because they make food for the whole plant. Leaves contain a green substance called chlorophyll. This helps the plant make food using sunlight, air, and water, and zeon, a process called photosynthesis. Let's say that again together, photosynthesis. It's a big word, but it simply means making food with the help of light. During this process, leaves take in a gas called carbon dioxide from the air through tiny holes on their surface called stomata. The roots send water from the soil to the leaves through the stem. The leaves then use sunlight to mix it all together and prepare food. This food gives the plant energy to grow and stay healthy. At the same time, the leaves release oxygen into the air. And that's the same oxygen we breathe in. Let's take a moment to think. Isn't it amazing that the very air we breathe is a gift from plants? So remember, leaves are not just green decorations. They're tiny factories working all day long, making food and giving us oxygen. The more green plants we have, the more oxygen we get. Flowers. The beauty and reproduction part. Now let's move on to the flowers, the most colorful and eye-catching part of the plant. Flowers come in many colors, shapes, and sizes. Some are tiny like marigolds, while others are big and bright like sunflowers. Flowers not only make a plant look beautiful, but also play a very important role in reproduction, which means making new plants. Inside every flower, there are tiny parts that help it form fruits and seeds. These seeds will grow into new plants when they are planted. So we can say Pallazamanin, flowers are the parents of new plants. Insects like bees and butterflies visit flowers to collect nectar, a sweet juice found inside. When they visit, they carry pollen from one flower to another. This process is called pollination, and it helps the plant make seeds. So next time you see a bee buzzing around a flower, remember, it's helping plants have babies. Also, flowers are useful for us humans too. We use them to make perfumes, decorations, and even some medicines. Flowers like rose, jasmine, and marigold smell wonderful and are used in so many ways. Fruits and seeds, the next generation. Now, after the flower has done its job, something magical happens. It turns into a fruit. Fruits are formed from flowers. Inside every fruit, there are seeds, and these seeds are what grow into new plants. That's how plants continue their life cycle. When the seed gets the right amount of air, water, and sunlight, it starts to germinate. That means it begins to sprout and grow roots and a small stem. From that tiny seed, a new plant begins to grow. Some fruits, like mango or apricot, have only one seed. Others, like papaya, watermelon, or tomato, have many seeds. Fruits not only protect seeds but also provide food for us and animals. Think of apples, bananas, grapes. They all come from plants that once had flowers. So next time you eat a fruit, remember, you're helping nature by spreading seeds that can grow into new plants, how the parts work together. Now let's put everything together. Each part of a plant has its own special job, but none of them can work alone. The roots absorb water and minerals, the stem carries them to the leaves. The leaves make food using sunlight, the flowers help make fruits and seeds, and the fruits help grow new plants. It's just like a team. Everyone does their job, and together they keep the plant alive and healthy. If even one part stops working, the plant can't survive. Isn't that a perfect example of teamwork in nature? Summary. Let's quickly revise everything we learned today. Roots hold the plant firmly in the soil and absorb water and minerals. Stem supports the plant and carries water and food to all parts. Leaves make food through photosynthesis and give out oxygen. Flowers help plants reproduce and form fruits and seeds. Fruits protect the seeds that grow into new plants. All these parts work together to keep the plant alive and growing. Why plants are important? Now here's the big question. Why are plants so important for us? Plants give us food, fruits, vegetables, grains. They give us oxygen, without which we can't live, even for a few minutes. They give us wood, medicine, fibers, and shade. They make the world look green, fresh, and full of life. Without plants, there would be no animals, no humans, no life on earth. That's why we should take care of plants and trees, never pluck leaves or flowers unnecessarily. Instead, plant more trees, water them regularly, and protect them from being cut down. Remember, when we take care of plants, they take care of us. Activity and reflection. Now let's do a small activity together. Step outside and find a small plant near your home or school. Look carefully. Can you spot its roots, stem, leaves? Maybe it even has flowers or fruits. Take your science notebook and draw the plant. Label all its parts: roots, stem, leaves, flowers, and fruits. Then next to each part, write one sentence about what that part does. For example, roots absorb water and minerals. Leaves make food. Flowers help make seeds. This will help you remember everything we learned today. So now you know, plants aren't just pretty to look at. They're living factories that make food, give oxygen, and keep life going on Earth. They work silently but powerfully every single day. In our next lesson, we'll go deeper and learn how green plants make and store their own food. The amazing process of photosynthesis in detail. Until then, look around you, appreciate the green world, and remember, every plant, no matter how small, is working hard to keep our planet alive. Thank you for learning with me today. See you in the next class.